Hello and welcome back to On The Rocks. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode as we take on a Croatian side that I cannot pronounce in the second knockout round of the Europa Conference League. We also have a nice game against Hamilton wedged in the middle in the Scottish Premiership, of which we are top of the table. First things first though, it's the start of a brand new week, so I'd massively appreciate you guys dropping a big like on today's video for me and subscribing to the channel if you're new around here and leaving a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Also want to say a big thanks to everyone who came out to watch the Streamer Showdown over the weekend. We weren't very good on the Saturday. Saturday was a terrible day, but Sunday was a little bit better. We narrowly lost out to second in a card in the semi-finals, just missing out on the final, which Lelujo, of course, went on to go and win again. But great to have some of you guys in the chat supporting me and getting involved. So great to see you all there. Back streaming again on Tuesday with back to normal Chelsea stuff. So come along then if you want to. Link to the Twitch channel in the description. So let's go over the results since you guys were last here for the 1-0 win to Rangers and the 1-0 loss to Hearts. Well, as you can see, plenty of green. Starting off with the Scottish Cup 5th round against Hibs, a 3-0 victory there, which you love to see. And then following up with 4 wins in a row in the Scottish Premiership. 2-1 over Morton, 3-2 over Livingston, 3-1 over St Johnstone, and then a 1-0 win over Kilmarnock. We started off March with what I will say, a very poor game against Motherwell. It was a very rotated team, lots of different players in there, but we drew 1-1 in the Scottish Cup quarter-final against Motherwell, which means we have to go to a replay at the end of the month. But luckily, we came back with the best result of in-between episodes. We beat Celtic 3-0, a huge result for us there with Gordon, Ben Knight and Shanklin all scoring goals late on in the game to make sure we picked up the win in a very good game. Before we got pretty lucky against Hibs in the Scottish Premiership, a 3-2 victory there with again a fairly rotated lineup to rest players for the Europa Conference League second knockout round. So before we talk about the Europa Conference League, let's talk about the Scottish Premiership, which we currently sit atop of right now with 3 points clear to Celtic and 5 points clear to Rangers. We've been superb in between episodes, Nisbet cementing himself as the league top scorer. Ben Knight's starting to catch up Ryan Kent for the assists as well, and he's also in their highest average ratings too. It's been a great season. Hopefully, we can just keep it going. You can see, though, we have been pretty lucky, I feel. We've not scored nearly as many goals as Celtic and Rangers, and we have conceded an awful lot more than Celtic and Rangers. You can see there in the goal difference, we are miles behind them. However, we just managed to do the business against them. Like, they've obviously slipped up a couple of times against other teams as well. Rangers have slipped up 4 times this season, as you can see, and Celtic have had too many draws, 6 draws for them this season. But we managed to capitalise where they have let themselves down a little bit. So actually, I'm not entirely sure we are as good as these two yet. They've just slipped up quite a lot, but we are capitalising on those slip-ups, and right now it looks good for us. In terms of the Europa Conference League, we were given a very, very nice draw, as you can see. We're playing this team, I can't even pronounce it, NK Osijek is maybe how you say it, but I feel like I'm saying that all wrong. We're taking them on. They are from Croatia, but it could have been so much more difficult for us. Fiorentina, for example, Borussia Mönchengladbach, Norwich, Werder Bremen, RZ, Galatasaray, Standard Liège. In fact, I think we have pretty much the easiest tie there, which now guarantees we're going to lose this, but I'll be honest, it could have been a lot worse for us. Unfortunately, Kilmarnock got knocked out of the Europa Conference League first knockout round by Werder Bremen, so we're the only Scottish team left in the Conference League. However, in the Europa League, Scotland are still there. They're in the second knockout round, taking on Roma. But enough messing around. Let's get straight into today's first fixture against this team from Croatia. Bazunu starts in goal with Devine, Herrera, Suva and Torres in the back line. Campbell and Tam-Lumpa start in the centre of midfield with Gordon, Knight, Nisbet and Shanklin the attacking outlets. Fingers crossed we get a good result. So as kickoff is upon us here today, we are playing in Croatia this evening. So we've got the away leg coming up first, which is I guess good for us because we like to go to the away legs first. We like to try and get an away goal or two to make life a little bit easier for us in the second leg. But we're not doing much so far. I've said this should be an easy game. They've had 6 shots. We've had 1 shot. And that's all she wrote in the... Not a single highlight in that first half. That's... I mean, it's good because we've not conceded a goal, but we're not creating anything. We're not doing anything. An away goal would be superb for us. And the way we've played in the group stages, I expect us to go on to win this game and do very well in this tournament. We played really well in the group stage against teams like Fiorentina, for example. So I suspect we should be doing decent work here. as Devine comes forward. Can he put a ball into the middle? Not really. Gets out to Campbell on the edge of the area. Back to Devine, back to Campbell. I mean, it's nice 1-2 foot between the two of them, but we're not going to score a goal by doing that. Campbell finally back to Devine, who loses possession. We do win it at the back, though, as Tam McLumper gets it out to Torres. Can Torres put a killer ball into the middle? He can. Gordon's there. Gordon's header just wide of the mark, and that's the first chance we've seen from either side so far. And it wasn't really that good, unfortunately. In the meantime, we do win possession back again as Tam McLumper gets the ball into Ben Knight. Back to Tam McLumper, he gets it out to Torres. Torres into Shankland. Shankland can't quite turn it into the back of the net, but Gordon can. You love to see it. 18 for the season now for the guy on loan from Everton. Hopefully, we can get him back next season again on loan, because that's obviously going to be the plan. He's been so good for us every single season. He keeps getting better and better as well as he keeps developing with the team. And that was a hallmark goal of his, scoring at the far post. 1-0 to us. Crucially, that is a very nice away goal as well. Away goals mean a lot to us, and that away goal could make all of the difference, although a second one would make even more of a difference. Looks like Ben Knight has taken a bit of a knock. He needs to come off the pitch. We'll swap him over with Thad McRae, who's now got 12 goals to his name this season, a 17-year-old. Had a superb season coming off the bench most of the time, and I'm very pleased with him. Reece Devine also not playing brilliantly. Brian Portier will come on for him instead, and Shankland on a 6.5. Will not... In fact, no, we'll swap him with Thad McRae, swap him and Nisbet over, and then Shankland will come off at Ethan Ross. So all three changes at the same time there, but with 20 minutes to go or so, I think that's fairly sensible to do, to also rest some players for the league game coming up against Hamilton. In the meantime, the ball gets out to Brian Portier, into Gordon. Gordon to put it across the 6-yard area. Nisbet's there, but it's saved by the keeper somehow. Great save from him. It stays 1-0, but Tam McLumper's corner is... not really met by anyone. Ethan Ross's shot from the edge of the area is a decent one and is put behind for another corner. Ethan Ross is a weird one. He's just not developed how we wanted him to develop. And I guess maybe that's a product of him always being on the bench and out on loan elsewhere. I think he will probably end up going at the end of the season, and we need to get some better backup wingers in place if we want to keep improving. Because I don't think Ethan Ross is the man to take us to a Champions League victory, for example. If we're in a Champions League final and Ben Knight gets injured and Ethan Ross is the man to bring on, he's not going to win the game for us. He's not that sort of player, unfortunately. So as much as we love him, he's just not developed, and I don't think we'll be seeing much of him going forward. I think we're going to try and get rid of him in summer. So if you're a big Ethan Ross fan... sorry, it is my fault. I've maybe not developed him properly, but also his fault for not training hard enough and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm trying to sort of find some sort of way to make it not really seem like my fault when really it might be my fault, as they've scored a goal that should be offside. Is that not offside? It's not offside, apparently. That's a frustrating one to concede, but this is where the important away goal comes in now. If we can just get a 0-0 draw at our place or something like that, we're going through, and it's not offside at all, is it? That's frustrating. Well, maybe not the best performance out there for us. We've certainly played a lot better in recent weeks. I guess the pressure of playing on such a big stage has got to some of these players, but I back us in the home leg. Our back is in the home leg. We should do okay there. Now, as you can see, we are in mid-March. The 14th of March, actually my birthday. So in-game, it's my birthday. You'll love to see it. But because it is mid-March, we should be getting the youth intake anytime soon. It might be in today's episode. It might happen in between episodes. I'm not entirely sure when it happens, but it's usually at some point in the middle of March. But for whatever reason, the quarterfinal and semi-final draws are here right now. So this gives us a chance to have a look at our route to the final should we get past this team from Croatia. So let's view the draw. Us, or this team from Croatia, will come up against Fiorentina or Borussia Mönchengladbach in the quarterfinals. Now, we have beaten Fiorentina this season, earlier on, obviously, in the group stages, if I can find the group stages. Fiorentina, a 3-3 draw, and okay, we've drawn with them twice this season. We've not beaten them. We've drawn twice with Fiorentina this season, but that should be an interesting tie when we get through to it. So we'll just draw the other games as well, press continue, and then go back for the semi-final draw. And if we get through all of that, we might be playing against a team from Cyprus, Ludogorets, Bordeaux, or Rio Ave. Now that's a route to the final, because the other side of the draw, that is so much more difficult. So much more difficult on the other side of the draw. Whew. I mean, Fiorentina or Borussia Mönchengladbach, that is difficult, right? That's going to be so difficult. But if we get past that, I back us against any one of those teams easily. I don't particularly back us against Werder Bremen, Athletic Bilbao, Galatasaray, Standard Liège, Norwich. Like, I don't really back myself against those guys so much. So, for me, this is so much nicer. Of course, though, we do actually have to get there in the first place by beating the Croatian team in the second leg. In the meantime, we've got a game against Hamilton coming up. Big rotation coming up in that game too. And just like that, the youth intake is here. Here we go then, the youth intake for this season. And I'll be honest, it's not as good as it has been in recent years, but we have been spoilt in recent years with our youth intake preview. So, the best player again is another striker. Always strikers coming through every single year. But this guy, Tom Marshall from New Zealand, is 6'7" at 16 years old. So, I think we've got a target man on our hands here, and if you can reach 5-star potential and be the world's best target man, that would be superb. He offers a completely sort of different dimension to the strikers we already have, so that's pretty interesting. Tom Marshall, welcome to the club. And then we'll also quickly look at the two players with 4-star potential as well. We've got Kieran Woods here, who is a right midfielder slash wingback slash centre midfielder. He looks pretty decent. Nothing stand out just yet, and he's got low determination, but he is only 15 years old, so plenty of time to develop and grow. So welcome Kieran Wood to the team. And then Jamie Robinson is a CDM who has got some decent standout attributes actually. I'm a big fan of the 18 bravery, the 14 anticipation, the 14 composure, the 14 decisions, the 14 vision, the 14 work rate, the 14 technique, the 14 passing, the 14 natural fitness. He's got some very decent attributes actually, and I think Jamie Robinson could be a decent player in the future for us. I like what I see with Jamie more than I did the previous chat. So they look to be the best three. Of course, I will post this up on the Patreon for you guys to claim one of these regens should you want to. Link down in the description to the Patreon to get signed up there if you haven't done so already. So heading into the next game against Hamilton then, a few changes do need to be made. Reece Devine has apparently picked up a knock, so we'll swap him out with Brian Portier, and Vontae Daly-Campbell will play at right back instead of Juan Torres. Tamat Lumper looking tired. Let's give Sydney Tavares a run out there. Although he's not really developed much either. It's been a bit tricky for him. Obviously, we brought him in on a free... Oh, we didn't. We paid £500,000 for him. Wasn't a free transfer then. Maybe waste of £500,000. We won't play him. I think what we'll do instead is bring Xavi Simons onto the pitch in on loan from Roma. See what he can do as that deep lying playmaker. Gordon is looking tired, so we'll swap him over with Ethan Ross. But the rest of the team, I'm happy to leave as it is. Let's go to the game. So, as kickoff is upon us today, you love to see it. We are playing in the red, although we are away from home to Hamilton, and we've cleared their early cross into the middle, and Ben Knight, leading the counter-attack, sprints past everyone, shoots, but can't get it on target. You hate to see it. Ben Knight has been the best player for us this season. He's got so many goal contributions in terms of goals and assists, and he's always in and around the creation of play. He's just superb. I'm so glad we've got him on a new contract, because I really think as Hamilton score a goal, he could be worth £50 million down the line to us at some point if we sell him on at some point. But he's definitely going to be a star player in the future, in real life as well as in game, I would imagine. But not right now, because Hamilton, stupid defensive mistakes there, just kicking at each other, score a goal. Not ideal for us as Rangers go 2-0 up against Livingston early on. Celtic 0-0 currently with Dundee United. The longer that stays like that, the better, because of course they are 2 points behind us as things stand. As our Rangers now, they're winning. So we need to keep winning games to make sure we keep the gap going between us and the two teams below us. Celtic now winning. I've just seen them go top of the table. So today we have to get the results and we have to get the wins, as Duffy comes forward for Hamilton, and Duffy gets past everyone. His shot is wide though, but that was poor defensive display from us. Already, I think we go a bit more attacking, and we're going to shout demands more out there as Suva just hoofs the ball forward to Ethan Ross. It's actually a very good ball in the end as Ross keeps it in. Shankland's there. Shankland scores a superb goal for his 15th of the season, and we're back on level terms. I thought Suva's ball originally was just going to like the penalty spot and doing nothing. Ethan Ross does superb to keep it in there, and then Shankland's first time effort in off the crossbar is a genius, really. A well-worked goal. Very happy with you there, boys, as we go back on top of the table by a point, given the fact we are now drawing this game. But a draw isn't enough. We want to try and maintain that 3-point gap we have to Celtic, and the 5-point gap that we have to Rangers, so we need to go on to win. Maybe going off the Ethan Ross point earlier on as well, I think we maybe do need a couple of better backup style players in there, because the games like this where we do rotate the lineup a little bit, we're not scoring the goals so much. We do struggle in some of these games. You'll have seen, obviously, throughout the entire season, we love a good 3-2, we love a good 2-1, we love a good 1-0. We don't really win empathetically like Celtic and Rangers do. And I think to do that, one, we need some better starters, but two, we need much better backup players. I think Ethan Ross is a good example of that, definitely. So I think over summer, our priority has to be bringing in a much better and stronger quality squad, if you get what I'm trying to say. I didn't really word that very well at all. But in the meantime, Ethan Ross coming forward. He is demonstrating today why he's a very good player, and he can turn it on. Like, he just got past 3 players in a row there, pretty much, and just nearly got another assist. But I don't know, we just need someone more consistent. Ben Knight's also looking tired again. We want to rest him up for the next game as well. So we'll swap him over with Anthony Gordon, and then Nisbet will come off for Thad McRae. And let's also bring Lewis Ferguson on for Alan Campbell, who's looking quite tired too. So we've moved everyone up to more attacking positions, but as it stands right now, we're not doing much with that unless we can get a nice counter-attack going here against Hamilton. Now, we score lots of late goals, and I mean, that's a great last-ditch challenge there from Suva. I thought it was going to give away a penalty. Great from him as Thad McRae now comes forward, loses possession, throw in. Please, oh, the highlight hasn't even continued. Oh, you hate to see it. I thought we were going to get a goal from that one as Suva wins the ball at the back, plays it back to Bazunu. We've got 2 minutes left of this game in added time as Suva now hoofs it to Thad McRae. Thad McRae in behind the defence, shoots. Shanklin shoots. Shanklin's shot is just straight at the keeper. Maybe there is one final roll of the dice though, as Gordon comes forward with only 90 seconds left on the clock into Ethan Ross. Ethan Ross, who I've been slagging off all episodes so far, scores the goal to win us the game in what feels like just typical of us this season. We love a 90th minute winner. We do it all the time. And I think this is the reason that we are winning the league this season at the moment and we're top of the pile, because in situations where it looks like we're going to drop points or only pick up 1 point, we always find a way to win. We always find a way to win at the end somehow. And man of the match performance for Ethan Ross, who I've just said is leaving the club at the end of the season. Does that change my mind about him? No, not really, if I'm honest with you, but he put in a good shift, didn't he? So once again, we've done it. Another 90th minute winner. How many of those have we had this season now? So I'm going to look for goals that we've scored in the 90 plus minutes. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. It's quite a lot. And we're not always ones to win it, but we just love a 90th minute winner, basically. There's another one there, so that's 6. There's 7. There's 8, there's 9, there's 10, and there's 11 and 12. 12 times we've scored past the 90th minute. And again, a lot of them aren't actually like a last minute winner to win. It's a 5-0, a 4-0 there. But in this situation, it was a last minute winner. There's one last minute winner for us. Another one against St Mirren. What are the 90th ones there? Another one against Kilmarnock, that's 3. A last one against Morton, that's 4. And then the one we've just had down here, Livingston, that's 5. So 6, half the times we've scored in the 93rd plus minute or whatever it is, it's to win the game. We should have dropped so many points this season, but we haven't. And this is why we're top of the pile. You love to see it. I tell you what is interesting as well. Tom Ritchie, our backup goalkeeper, who's out on loan at St Mirren right now, has just been selected for the Scottish national side for the first time. Wow. I mean, I don't think he's going to be getting a debut. I imagine the other... Well, saying that, they've only got 3 keepers. And one's the keeper of Falkirk, who are in the 2nd division, right? They're in the Championship. And the other one plays for Inter Miami, who's 31. And I'm not entirely sure how good he is anymore. I presume he was good at one point. So maybe Tom Ritchie is going to be starting these games. So heading back into the Europa Conference League, we've switched the lineup back to the team that played in that first leg. It's the strongest lineup I think we do have. So fingers crossed they're going to do the job and get the win and take us to the quarterfinals. So as kickoff is upon us here today, big tie coming up, because if we win this, We have a great chance. Okay, Reece Devine might have just been sent off there. That was certainly not a penalty, but he is already on a yellow card, and that could be a second yellow and a red card for him. But that was not in the area. I'm not having that. It's going to VAR, but I think we can all see that was miles outside of the penalty area. And the referee's going to come back and he's going to say no penalty. There we go. No penalty. Is there another card? No, not another card, thankfully. Otherwise, that would be a very early bath for Reece and a very difficult game for us. I think Borussia Mönchengladbach and Fiorentina drew 1-1 in the first leg, if I remember correctly. So we'll keep tabs on that one as Ben Knight can't get the ball into the middle to get a goal 15 minutes into the game. But I think we're playing well so far. I think we're playing well so far, better than we did in the first leg. And have we just been given a penalty? I mean, I'm not entirely sure what for, and it's going to VAR, so we'll see what the VAR says about this. But they've given it a penalty. Who's taking it? It might be Nisbet, I think. Nisbet takes it. Yes, he does. And Nisbet can't score the penalty. Are we going to rue that? Hopefully not, as Gordon's header is saved by the keeper. Of course, he is the league top scorer as well, 18 in the league, so he's very prolific, knows where the back of the net is. I'm sure he'll pick his head up and score some more goals, as every time we just can't get it on target. Ben Knight this time putting the ball over the bar when it was an open net. We're having some joys from these throw-ins right now as Reece Devine gets the ball into Tam Lumpa, back to Herrera, back to Tam Lumpa, back into Reece. Reece to put it across the 6-yard area. He does, and Shankland's turn this time to turn it wide. I feel like this is going to be one of those games, right, where we get all the opportunities in the world. They get one shot on target. They'll score it, and then we'll lose 1-0. Half-time, though, 0-0. Our XG is nearly 2, which is very frustrating. So thrash the arms, far from pleased from what I've just seen out there. Go out there and score some goals. The second half, though, is really not helping us out massively either. 66 minutes on the clock. It's still 0-0. The thing is, though, 0-0 is good for us because, of course, we have that away goal from the first leg. So I am more than happy to just sort of see this game out, draw 0-0, and then go through. Obviously, a goal will help us out massively because that will give us a bit of breathing room. And it obviously protects us from them scoring a goal and winning the tie 2-1 on aggregate. But another chance goes begging there for us as the ball is drilled across the 6-yard area and put wide. Borussia Mönchengladbach are winning 2-1 right now. So I think if it all stays the same, we're playing against them in the quarterfinals. Unless Fiorentina have scored in the 93rd minute, I think it's going to be Fiorentina instead we play against as we draw 0-0. So we win on away goals, which is great. Hands on hips. Well done, lads. Good win for us there overall. You kind of love to see it. But drama in the game with Fiorentina because, they drew 2-2 anyway, but actually they won the first leg 2-1. So they've won 4-3 in aggregate. Not quite as dramatic as I thought it was. But for the first time ever, we have won the Europa Conference League second knockout round. And we get to play Fiorentina again, but this time in the quarterfinals. I presume those games are coming up very quickly, and they are, as you can see. We finish off the regular season against St Mirren and Dundee United, and then we'll get that final 5 games to play in the Championship group. So I guess we'll play Fiorentina one of those games and Fiorentina again next time out. So crunch time is coming. We're on for a league title, and we're still in the Europa Conference League. It's all very exciting, but can we actually go on to win anything? So thank you very much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.